Wild, crazy Dylan Thomas writes something very, very comforting for children of all ages. Isn't that ironic? Greatly ironic. So don't expect anything wickedly wicked by this one. Here's where you'll hear what I mean. Okay, so let's see. We got 1, 2, 7 of us in here. So let me get this. Okay, so look, whenever you are ready.
Showtime, you're on.
Hello and welcome to Angora Poets World Cafe on this January 2nd of 2021. A better year for you and yours, we all hope. The 2022, listen to me, I'm on COVID time in my mind. Okay, there's hope for all of us. All right, so here we are tonight, starting out with 7 people. And because it gives me the opportunity to start tonight, which I usually don't do, by reading you what I believe is perhaps the greatest, well, for me, the greatest Christmas story I've ever read. And it's called A Child's Christmas in Wales by Dylan Thomas. So, what is that for, David?
Back from the mic a little bit, Mo, so we can hear you clearly.
This mic is a pain in the ass. All right, can you hear me clearly now? Now, this is A Child's Christmas in Wales. Here's an excerpt. One Christmas was so much like the other. In 3 years, around the sea town corner now, out of all sound except the distant speaking of the voices I sometimes hear a moment before sleep, that I can never remember whether it snowed for 6 days and 6 nights when I was 12, or whether it snowed for 12 days and 12 nights when I was 6. All the Christmas rolled down towards the 2-tongued sea, like a cold and headlong moon, hounding down the sky that was our street. And they stop at the run of the ice-edged fish-freezing waves, and I plunge my hands in the snow and bring out whatever I can find. It goes in my hand into that wool-white tongue ball of holidays, resting at the rim of the carol-singing sea. And out come Mrs. Prothero and the firemen. It was on the afternoon of the day of Christmas Eve that I was in Mrs. Prothero's garden waiting for cats with her son Jim. It was snowing. It was always snowing in Christmas in December. December in my memory is white as Lapland. Oh, there were no reindeers. But there were cats, patient, cold, and callous, our hands wrapped in socks. We waited to snowball the cats, sleek and long as jaguars, and horribly weakened, spitting and snarling. They would slide and sidle over to the white brick garden walls, and the lynx-eyed hunters, Jim and I, fur-capped and moccasin trappers from Hudson Bay off Mumbles Road, would hurl our deadly snowballs at the green of their eyes. The wise cats never appeared. We were so still, Eskimo-footed Arctic marksmen in the muffling silence of the eternal snows, eternal ever since Wednesday, that we never heard Mrs. Prothero's first cry when her igloo at the bottom of the garden, or if we heard it at all it was to us was like a far-off challenge of our enemy and prey, the neighbor's polar cat. But soon the voice grew louder. Fire, fire, cried Mrs. Prothero, and she beat the dinner gong. And now we ran down the garden with all the snowballs in our arms. towards the house, and smoke indeed was pouring out of the dining room, and the gong was bombangling, and Mrs. Prothero was announcing ruin like a town crier in Pompeii. This was better than all the cats in Wales standing on the wall in a row. We bounded into the house laden with snowballs and stopped at the open door of the smoke-filled room. Something was burning, all right. Perhaps it was Mrs. Prothero, who always slept there after midday dinner with a newspaper over her face. But she was standing in the middle of the room saying, "A fine Christmas," and snacking at the smoke with a slipper. "Call the fire brigade," called Mrs. Prothero, and the beat was gong. "They won't be here," said Mr. Prothero. "It's Christmas." There was no line to be seen, only clouds, smoke, and Mr. Prothero standing in the middle of the room, waving his slipper through the white through the white cloud of smoke. "Do something," he said, and we threw all our snowballs into the smoke. And I think we missed Mr. Prothero and ran out of the house to the telephone box. "Let's call the police as well," Jim said, "and the ambulance, and Ernie Jenkins. He likes fires." There you go. There's the opening excerpt to A Child's Christmas in Wales. And I'm going to listen to it later on in Dylan Thomas's own narration. His own narration, because he's a wonderful spoken word artist, by the way. If you haven't heard Dylan Thomas, he's one of the standards of spoken word. You know, yeah, he really is. Okay. So there, we opened it with a clumsy reading of the introduction to A Child's Christmas in Wales, because my microphone is a tricky and I have to back off so far. But I would recommend it. And for years, I read it on during the Christmas week here in my apartment in Paris, and people would come. Adults really liked it. All right, so now we will move on to our second poet of the night, hailing from a New Yorker city. And let's call on Lydia Perry. Hello, Lydia.
Hello. Okay, so I'm just going to read I'm just going to read this one. I don't know if I read it before, but anyway. New York City is all so gritty when I was just peeping just around the corner. So I'm going to take this slow and easy and let you know about how gritty we were at that point in time. Just around the corner, love the yesterday when bloom zenith popped. Kaleidoscopic inspiration, hieroglyphics, a new generation, linguistics, folly, pledging apart. There was a stance, B-boy and the B-girl dance, whole glance, begin, a helicopter, leg spins, breaking the wind and turning their bite out of, taking their bite out of the apple, out of the sour, making it oh so sweet, sweet enough to eat. There was the borough to borough and the travel swads, Queenside, Bronx, Boogie Down, Sedgwick Avenue, Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, Harlem World, and Staten Island novelties like baseball, Jackie Robinson, the Brooklyn Dodger, turnbull, stickball, and kickball. Scully was gully, and the whimsical delight brings to light stories on Story Avenue. Everything begins to whirl around in your head, whimsical delights. Everything old is always going to be new, trailing one's constitution and the esoteric evolution through a free love revolution. Those red rooms in a sacred bathhouse of Plato's retreat, sexual liberation and free to rejoice. A dance to DJ spins heathens' anthems, held in embrace of Bolton strobe of limelight, the disco kids, the disco whiz, Jelly Bean Benitez, Kaz, Mr. Magic, Knuckles, and Larry Levant. Cool Herc gave birth to 5 Boroughs crews. Between the mayhem and the lands of Brooklyn and the Bronx burning down, the formula for the new rules, graffiti notebooks. They flipped out back pockets, rocket socket, aerosol cans, declarations and painted dreams. You knew what I mean, and you know what I mean. Scratching, surviving, scrawl, wet crawls, size cement walls and abandoned halls. Those bathroom doors across steel cages and carriages that married the minds and mirrored the times, that crippled nations, photograph headlines and the daily news, rumbled of the Jungle Brothers and the teams of others in Africa Bambaataa, Zulu nations, cross-pollinate generations born out of ghetto tombs and burden wombs, rumbles turned into towers, rippled lyrics, public enemy, fight the power. Rappers delight in the Sugar Hill Gang, the stars of the sun, moon, and planet rocks, baby pebbles out, ghettos from out 5 boroughs, who rumble between Blacks and Puerto Rican gangs, technique squads, and crews groove into flipping jazz licks, R&B hits to rock the houses of the hip hop gods just around the corner, dragging their wagons of record crates to cassette tapes, now relate on times fledgling hustle where there were corporate vampires cashing in on zenith of smoke and fire, ashes of rap kings and boroughs of the slums and ghettos, hell storytellers, DJs blew birth with MCs into new nations, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, Rages, DMC and LL. Let's not forget Bismarcky, rest in peace, for now he is free to do his MCs from another place. Fist bump with other tribes already on the move. And finally, register to the ears of music execs, which pad their pockets and kept them full with bank accounts and millions of dollars ringing a rebel rap kings of yesterday. When I was peeping and creeping, and I was just around the corner looking in at times when I was just a lost Buffalo gal going round the outside. So still those guns be smoking now. They're smoking and hearts broken, lives token, changing, hoping, just around the corner, tagging the times, the new rules, rhymes, game, new rap, along with new protest songs, banners of Black Lives Matters, new days, but remember, the last poets was the first one to be rapping just around the corner.
Okay.
No.
Poetry is history.
Yes, it is. It is. It is. It is.
Do you recall what happened with Death Row Records?
Yes, a whole big transition there with Suge Knight and all of them during the time with Eazy-E.
Yeah. Yeah, because what happened was some people in government and industry bigwigs decided that that early rap music was going to cause a lot of social unrest.
Right.
So they went to Death Row and they told them, you are to promote gangster rap, you know, sex, drugs, and violence.
Yes.
And you are to cut out this other stuff about consciousness raising.
Right. Like,
and one of the members of that meeting came out with a video explaining that some years later. and we were told that you now promote gangster rap, and we will enforce it upon your business if you don't.
Yeah.
And that's what happened back then. No one has
Definitely, because no one wanted the conscious rap, which was, well, first of all, the Last Poets was doing it when they said they did the tag of niggas are afraid of a revolution. And then Public Enemy came out with Don't Believe the Hype, you know, and Queen Latifah, and the list goes on to, that was called the positive rap that was coming down the pipes. And then
don't forget NWA.
NWA, yeah, that's right, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I used to listen to a lot of West Coast Connection, NWA music.
Right,
rap.
and Tupac Shakur.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a real successful intervention. The guy who
there were
reported
some
it on
socially conscious groups like out of Oakland and stuff, though.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's kind of how we roll at Oakland.
Yeah, Oakland. I mean, really, Cali is like strictly, they will be out in the street fighting, literally, because I think they have a lot of heart out there. Even during the protests when Woodstock was the birth of Woodstock. I mean, like, they have heart, you know, even with Angela Davis and all the mayhem with
the Panthers.
The Panthers, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I watched all that stuff happening, you know, when I was growing up.
Wow.
Inspiring.
It is. It definitely is.
Do you have another piece for us, Lydia?
Yes, okay, I do. I don't want to be a downer today, but I do. But yes, let me get my piece right here. It's on my phone. Hold on just a second. Just a second. I try to work from my computer, but my computer is like totally down. So, so now I'm just working off the phone, basically. I think this is it. No, that's not it. You know what? I'll just improv it a little bit if I have it right. Well, since they tried to nail the coffin, Emmett Till's case was, feds closed the case. Still, after reporter said that Carolyn Bryant recanted her story. So this is the piece that I did before this case was closed. So
you're speaking of Emmett Till?
Right, Emmett Till, right. So tonight, I'm going in spirit. I'm going in spirit for Mimi Till. Hi, I've come back. I've come back to say hello to you, Carolyn. I come back. I just wanted to know why you waited so long after 62 years. So tonight I'm opening not only my son's coffin, but I'm opening all the coffins. Cause see, I just can't die with a lie. And I know you're conscious. I know you're conscious. So to finally see what your alternative facts did to Emmett, petitioning the murder of my son. Now, I know they were not your hands. They were not your hands. No, they were not your hands that dragged him from the home of, they were not your hands. But your words, see, as deemed the truth. 62-year-old lie. We just can't let that lie die. So I'm saying, how does your conscience sleep? Knowing your lies would murder my son. See, he was just a boy. He was just 14-year-old boy, a Black boy. So in light of your truth, I'm not only opening Emmett's coffin, I'm opening the coffin set by deaths of the hands of injustice. And I need to let you look at my son, Carolyn. Yes, I know you recanted your story, but I need you to look at my son. That's why I left the casket open. Look at what alternative facts in the narrative did to this Black boy. So come next to me. Feel my pain of all these years, 62 years of sorrow. You gifted me a mother, such pain you would not know. You went to church, you prayed. But see, there are somebody's missing in Money, Mississippi. There's some bodies, not only his body, but there are some bodies missing in Money, Mississippi. And I wanted the world to see that he once was a beautiful child. But now, look at his mangled, butchered, new, bullet-peppered body. It's so unrecognizable to me. A vicious murder that sealed the air with his blood cries. I said his blood cries. Oh God, they rang out so loud. I saw it. The world saw it. His gouged out eye. The tonnage of a cotton gin fan, imagine, around his neck. They tossed and impregnate Emmett's body into the Tallahatchie River. Criminal night twilight. Yes. I want the world to view my son's grotesque face. I want them to see what a narrative couldn't do. And you see, it's still going on. It's still going on. It's been going on for so long. I know they say, why you keep bringing it up? Oh, here she's back in spirit, but she's in many spirits. She's in many coffins. I'm everywhere, Carolyn. I'm opening up Turner and Attucks, Evers and Malcolm, Bumpers and Crawford, Brown and Graham, Rice and Scott, Gray and Harris and Garner and God. Oh my God. I can't breathe. I know you say here they are doing it all again, bringing up things from 400 years, and here they are just marching and walking and marching and protesting and marching and talking. And damn, God damn, when will it all stop? I'm saying never. If we can't face the truth, then we can't go on. We won't go on. Because even though they sealed the coffin, they think they sealed Emmett's coffin by closing the case. Carolyn, I know your time, you're aged, but guess what? I won't close these coffins until justice is done. I won't close them. I won't close them till justice is done.
Okay. So this was, Carolyn was the woman who accused Emmett of sexual advances because she claimed he whistled at her.
Yes.
And then these white men came to get him that night and
at his uncle's house.
And threw him in the river where he was even more disfigured from me.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
and she admitted she concocted that story.
She did. The reporter who was taping, his tape ran out when she was when she recanted this. I mean, when she said, yes, I'm sorry. All these years it bothered me, but then she took back the story, and the feds closed the story because they said it was not everybody has passed on and not enough evidence to the fact.
Okay. Well, we invite you to do Three's a Charm, as ironic as that might sound at this moment.
Okay, so I'll do a clever little ditty, just a little something. Okay, but this is for Obatalia, this is for Obatala. And I call him the Kings of Kings, straight out of Jersey. So, blowing strong winds, you were my Jersey City King of Kings. The God of everything, the God of sun and the God of light and water, and everything to cast your spell upon me. Touching tentacles and chance upon this poet you met on an open forum inside a Harlem botanical shop. And I was beating for the loss of my voodoo box. Who stole my voodoo box? So you gifted me some Virgo oils and those pearls and adorn the happen upon me. You adorned me with some honey. But then you threw in a little bit of a mix. You threw in some crystal mojo, some vodka, some chicken wings, and you told me you was a writer, but you wrote Russian suicide writers. Those were your poets, your friends. And you left me standing there without my voodoo box. That's a short ditty. That's a true story.
Well, did you exercise any spells with your voodoo box?
I had a voodoo box, but it was really cute. But it was no bad spells. This is good energy. This is African energy. It's good source. You know.
Your box had gree-gree.
Yes.
Okay. Gree-gree was for self-protection and goodwill. Gree-gree.
That's right.
Defensive against other voodoo practitioners.
That's right.
Gree-gree. And people would say, instead of like, do you have good karma? Do you have good vibes down there in Louisiana? They'd say, you have good gree-gree. Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Well, okay. Well, thank you. And thanks for giving us that history lesson in poetry lines about New York.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Okay. Well, I want to thank in advance the next person we're going to have, and that's going to be Martin. We're going to stay on the New York side of the water right now and go to Martin Rosick. How you doing, Martin?
Hello.
This is a wonderful poem for lip readers. I'll tell you what, it's a fantastic poem for lip readers. One of your best, Martin, one of your best. Why, you're inspiring me to mute myself when I go back on.
I'm so sorry. I didn't. I said I did find some old poems that maybe I'd like to share, but I think I'm going to start by reading an old Yeats poem.
Okay.
You probably know it, but it's one of my favorites. It's called "Why Should Not Old Men Be Mad?" It's not exactly optimistic, but let's see if I can find it here. So, why should not old men be mad? Some have known a likely lad that had a sound fly fisher's wrist turned to a drunken journalist. A girl that knew all Dante once lived to bear children to a dunce. A Helen of social welfare dream climb on a wagonette to scream. Some think it a matter of course that chance should starve good men and bad advance. That if their neighbors figured plain as though upon a lighted screen, no single story would they find of an unbroken happy mind, a finish worthy of the start. Young men know nothing of this sort. Observant old men know it well, and when they know what old books tell, and that no better can be had, know why an old man should be mad.
Yes, okay.
Right.
All right. Give us the second one now, Martin. Where are you?
So while I'm on negative tone. This one is an old one I wrote. It's called Charon grousing.
Now, what would that mean?
Charon is the Greek ferryman ferrying the dead across the river Styx.
Okay.
And he's not happy with modern developments. I've had to add a fleet of ferries and no one bothers with the pennies. So yes, the job has gone to hell. Achilles, Paris, I can't recall so many names. B-boys, they came well washed, a single rose beside them on the tasteful pyre, respectful, proper, almost a pleasure. It all changed with that load from Ypres. When I come now, the cur whimpers. Then those that glowed made our gums bleed, had to let shield the Elysian fields. New weapons, ways of dying, new diseases. Some even blow themselves to pieces.
Ooh. Yes, some do. All right, well, we're inviting you to do Three's a Charm.
All right, I'll end on a light note, okay? This is called Picnic. Flutterbug, miscalled butterfly, apologies to Marilyn Moore, who wrote something like this before. Shivering wings go swirling by. Sunlight turned to mica flakes. As her intent was not the same, perhaps no need to cite her name. They dance and gyre for their own sakes. It's the lightness of their being, unguarded frailty on display. The near nothingness we're seeing, a brevity that's free of care. The faintest breeze blows them away, your laughter dissolving into air.
Okay. All right, that was a nice touch, Martin. Thank you. Okay, good to have you back again.
It's
We know
great
you've
to
been
be
busy
back.
for a while,
Great
and good to see you. All right. Well, next on the list is we're going to take the airways back here to Paris and bring on Bill Strangmire. Bill, you're on.
Thank you, Mo. Okay. Well, maybe later than that. Okay, this is called, well, first there's a quote from Eliot. For last year's words belong to last year's language, and last year's words await another voice. This is called New Year's Eve 2020. The year is coming in, the year is ending up, time is rolling on, Will we be happy? Will we win? How about the flattery of the money god's grace? Am I the apple of some god's eye, even a minor god? Dream on. And between now and the end, I need to find a stepping stone to heaven. A heaven just for me and my friends, famous or not, or fictional, human or not. Is that how it works? Can you get what you believe in when you're dead? Is heaven, and also will the year, be belief perpetuated like neuroses? Could the malevolent religions be right? Will doubt keep you out? A year of mumbled curses done. What will we mumble now? Sighs and melodies? I hope for a year in which humanity has learned its lesson. Hilarious re-death of fascism, end of cancel culture and PC, multinationals nationalized and given to Iceland, a cure for old age, churches put back in the closet like 1960s Protestantism, the end of rape and murder and children's and morons' entertainment, Mike Tyson's continuing growth, the burnout of hard attitude, and most of all, the end of Mammon's reign on earth, capitalism dead, money a tool, not our master, and oh, the brotherhood of man. Dream on. What I expect is more of the same with slight decline and slight advance, but celebration at the end of the month if there's a chance of hope. And we will keep on trucking right up to the end of our days, our own days soon, the sun's days later in its many million years as our lives are designed short for the multiplexed amusement of that very sun, that very God. It will be another year of perplexities and uncertainties with love and fear mixed up in faith to fuel a movement for and against hate. Perhaps we'll concede some truth as life is, perhaps we'll concede some truth as life, as is its habit, still goes on, unless some fool scientist or politician finds a way to screw the pooch. But no, every little thing is going to be all right, really. Happy, happy New Year, everyone. Didn't make anybody laugh. This is called The Snow. We trudged through the snow that evening at play. I was heroic. She sparkled, gleamed brightly like gold. The past and the future were possible still, in reach. And the war was still real, but not like the Nam. She loved 1940 society, joked that her husband was off in the war, and that I had been wounded, a hero it seemed. She worked in the war effort. We were so young and could dream. I dreamed the snowflakes in her eyebrows and lashes. The cold and the nip of the not yet pain would last, would forever remind me of hope of that kind, of hope in a hopeless desire that time was against. And why? Because of the change that would come, because of character, because of the world and the war and obsessive desire, because of my love of the tragic in life. The snow was so white and encompassing, lit up the dark lit night. Will I ever see snow so up close again, to stick in my eyelashes like a dream, dry and crisp and verging on pain from the cold? I'm in a different world now, wet and mediocre, leaving the cold, no longer subject to ecstatic shock and luscious surprise, no instant different in the sameness of name, moments each, but felt and decorated differently, each one unique and dry, although they melt away into each other, are now the slush of the past. Why should I be different? The worlds have gone this way. Still, high noon summer heat gives way to drip of freon waste. The seasons blend, the music turns to halfway frozen yogurt, and the autumn smells of nothing. Spring is wet and mute. Well, we have voted this to be. Our minds drift off, we dozed and sold the struggle for a suit and a car. Winter is coming, warm and wet. Will I ever know snow so well again?
Well,
I
there's
like
a
that. That was
there's
nice.
a cheerful.
That was
All
nice.
right. All right, Bill. Okay, here we go. Drop another one on us, Bill. Number 3 is a charm.
Okay, this is called On the Pont Marie. There's something in a winter's chill that's sharp and pure as a razor's slice when you float above a bright river's sluice, like a tree full of pine needle frosted jewels, like gridded and straightened starry night whorls. It runs away like a brush, like the brush, and it prickles your sight, and it glows with a blush, and the river is shining and glowing with worlds. That hazy, slow afternoon is far, so dim I fear its pastel ghost. Its comfort's inexplicable now. It's lost on the other side of the year. What was once enjoyed at such great cost, that zero now is the law.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, let's go now to, okay. Let me get we're gonna go Narcel. Narcel, hello, it's Narcel from Turkey. Now, Narcel reminds us, she sent, did you see her on the chat? She's celebrating an early birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy birthday, Nessel.
Happy birthday, Narcel.
Happy birthday
Oh, goodness.
To you. Happy
Okay.
birthday to you.
All right.
Sure.
Now, yes. Now I'm going to find your selection here. Where are you, Narcel? Give me a second, folks. I am. Okay. Ay, ay, ay, ay. Okay, still looking for no-cells poems. Have patience, folks. I don't know where they went. Oh. Well, this is a mystery. I read them earlier. Where are you, no-cell? Let's find you.
Yes.
Just a minute.
Okay. The wizard. Okay.
No, not yet.
Yes.
Hmm. Let's see if we have it. Mhm. Okay, I found them. Sorry for the delay, people, but I have a lot of incoming. Okay, here we go. It's called Weasel Red. Okay, Weasel Red by Narcelle Ertekin. I disperse smoke to the fountains of the eyes. Lost my love shedding tears on nights without history. Warm poppy red flows from my heart to your palms. Prayers hang in the sky, capsized in love. In your hand, a bunch of red thorns. Warm poppy red flows from my heart to your palms on nights without history. Okay, thank you. Now for you.
Arıyor. Yes. Büyücü. Uyuma. Derin uykularda. Göz kapaklarına yazık. Kutsanmış ihanetlerinizi soyundum. Birer birer lotus çiçeğiyle. Kanıyorum durmadan iç gözyaşlarıma. Sesim kırılır inceden inceye. Atar damar kesi. Zaman kanar. Sabahlarına hüzünlü bir aşk oldum uyan. Aşkları da vururlar. İki kaşının ortasında. Sevdama ömür biçen büyücü. Tanrı mısın sen? Yaşarken beni cehennem ateşine atarsın. Çınlar sesim ay Medcezir. Dizelerimde samanlık seyran. Samanlık sevişenin. Oysa iğneyle kuyu kazarım ben. Kimse bilmez mor sabahlara uyandığımı. Aşk ki hüzünlü bir ırmak. Yüzemez. Aşka yar olmaya. Sürüldüm cennetten elma ağacıyla. İncir yaprağından giysilerim. Kanıyorum durmadan zamanın gözyaşlarına. Kanıyorum, anıyorum. Sabahlarına hüzünlü bir aşk oldum uyan. Aşkları da vururlar. İki kaşının ortasında. Thank you.
Thank you. I like how that ends. From my heart to your palms on nights without history. Yes. Okay, here's Narcelle's second poem, which is named after an individual. I believe it's called Urgovan. The beauties of Urgovan, Narcelle. The beauties of roses are decreasing one after the other, worshiping with sorrow to purple dreams. I pray, O life, do not make me A thin ache in my chest. A nightingale bleeds silently because I collected birds from the forest. And incompletely lived love bleeds in the heart of my life. Pronounced loneliness. I kiss your eyes.
Thank you.
Woo.
Wow. Arguvan. Ardı sıra eksiliyor güllerin güzellikleri. İbadet ediyorum kederle erguvan düşlere. Arz ederim ey hayat, behtat etme beni. Göğsünde inceden bir sızı. Sessiz kanar bir bülbül çığlık çığlığa. Ormandan kuş sesleri topladım. Merhem diye. Eksik yaşanmış bir aşk kanar. Ey benim leylak dokunuşlu yalnızlığım, gözlerinden öperim. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, and now for Nercel's third. Here we go. Third poem. Dream Fairy.
Yes.
Dream Fairy. Okay. Anyway, do you remember you were a little girl, ponytail hair, in love with the wind? Make love in cotton candy, your freckled cheeks, your innocent lips, kite cloud, plum green eyes, butterfly in your hands, daisies in your hands smell of purple violet, dream fairy in your heart. Yeah.
Düş perisi. Strangmire. Hatırlar mısın? Küçük bir kızdım. At kuyruğu saçları, rüzgara aşık. Pamuk şekerci sevişti. Çilli yanakları, masum dudakları. Uçurtmam bulut, erik yeşili gözlerinde. Ellerin kelebek, ellerin papatya. Mor viyolet kokar ellerin. Düş perisi yüreğinde. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Nercel. And happy birthday. Bon anniversaire.
Thank you.
Okay.
Dear
All right.
poets there. Thank you.
Okay. So now we are going to return to Paris and bring on Carolina. Hello, Carolina.
Hello. Well, for the first round, I will read hard poems.
Read what?
And for the second one, it will be most tender and soft. Because, well, I've been quite angry tonight. Well, yesterday night, and I have to express it.
I've never seen you angry. Not that I see you a lot, but I've never seen you angry. So this ought to be an exceptional moment.
Maybe it's better for you. I can be very, very, it's just like a storm.
Okay. Well, we're ready to hear your verse.
Well, maybe it's this one first. Oh no. Well, en négatif. Toi,
Now,
l'autre.
are you reading which language?
It's in French.
Okay, give us a brief description.
It's like an answer. I wrote it. I was quite angry against someone very aggressive and noisy I live with. And it was, well, a perverse to describe him.
That gives us a big hint. All right.
And the title is in negative, just like in photography, you've got the negative in argentique, old photography. En négatif, toi, l'autre, bruyant, tonitruant, vociférant, vitupérant, hurlant, débordant, claquant les portes, les tiroirs, les pieds, les mains et les placards. Réveille à t'agiter, te dépêcher, râler, crier, déplacer l'air, brasser, t'agiter pour paraître être, te donner une contenance occupée pour ne pas sentir le gouffre sous tes pas. Et moi, pleine de rien, immobile, ralentissant à mesure pour rééquilibrer le temps. Besoin de calme, prendre le temps de me sentir vivre simplement, ralentir, souffler, savourer ton absence, délicate, légère, toute de silence et de sourire. Mais déjà tu reviens, l'œil triste, le verbe caressant qu'on pourrait croire aimant, user la corde du pire. J'ai eu mal souvent de te voir ainsi dessiner les contours de l'amour sans jamais y entrer. T'en vas à l'eau, j'ai largué les amarres.
En
That was,
colère.
yeah, that's after I found words to explain it peacefully.
Yeah.
This is the second one about perversity and how it's not a good idea to try to change someone. It can be very, very dangerous. Il ne tue pas les femmes, il y sème la terreur. Tout ce qui est doux, il a oublié. Surtout ne pas y penser. Avancer, toujours un peu plus loin, sur ce fil, toujours un peu plus fin, à s'écorcher les pieds, à regarder l'abîme, à vouloir y plonger. Mais toi d'abord, toi qui n'as pas su m'apprendre à t'aimer, toi qui ne m'as jamais vu, toi qui n'as jamais su, apprends-moi à aimer la vie. Apprends-moi comment qu'elle est belle. Je t'apprendrai la haine, je t'apprendrai la peur, je t'apprendrai le dégoût, la soumission à ma folie. Chaque jour grandissante, car plus tu aimes, plus mon ego grossit. Plus tu disparais dans la démesure de ma folie. Ne parle pas d'amour, surtout pas. L'amour, le romantisme, c'est des mensonges de riches pour faire baver les pauvres. Moi, je connaîtrai jamais que la haine et la violence. Parce que c'est écrit comme ça. Un qui n'a jamais su qu'un crayon, ça sert aussi à ça, à réécrire l'histoire, à pouvoir la changer. Fidélité et obéissance à des règles établies par d'autres. Se conformer aux ordres, se conformer au code, obéir et tout ira bien. Dans un monde formaté, un monde où rien ne dépasse. De l'adrénaline à foison, mieux que la coke. Un monde où tout est simple. Enfin, certes. La peur y règne en grande maîtresse, certes. Mais la terreur, il la connaît. Il baigne déjà dedans. Personne ne peut l'aimer gratuitement. C'est pas possible. Il ne l'a pas mérité. Mais il va s'améliorer et au prix de grands efforts de l'oubli d'être lui-même. Alors, il aura un monde parfait dont il sera le chef. Un monde sous contrôle. Il ne sent plus son cœur, il n'est plus qu'égo. Elle avait cru pouvoir l'aimer. Oui. I'm cutting the noise. Il n'est plus qu'égo. Elle avait cru pouvoir l'aimer. Elle avait cru pouvoir le sauver. Elle avait cru bien faire. Elle a trop voulu y croire. Mais elle avait oublié qu'on ne change pas quelqu'un qui n'en a pas envie. Car pour pouvoir changer et pas seulement en parler, enfin pouvoir aimer, il aurait fallu qu'il affronte ses fantômes. Et ils étaient trop gros. Et il faisait trop sombre. Pas de petite flamme au fond de ses souvenirs. Et pour ne pas les voir, il a voilé la sienne, soufflé tant qu'elle l'a presque senti s'éteindre sous le joug de sa main froide et ses baisers frileux. Et la marée interne de ses larmes retenues, sentant venir la mort, il finit par partir. Et la voilà donc libre, enfin, de pouvoir vivre libre, libre et bien triste, perdu dans un monde qui vacille.
Woo. Okay.
I don't read it very often because it's
Yeah. In fact, did you actually try to change someone?
yeah, and I almost died.
Yeah.
But I read it very, very, very closely to death. So I had a pleuresia.
Anyway.
It's when tu sais, sous le poumon, entre la plèvre et le poumon, il y a de l'eau. It's like
Water in the lung?
crying, yeah, water just sous le poumon, en fait, c'est comme pleurer de l'intérieur. C'est comme si j'avais été en train de me noyer par mes larmes, mais par dedans.
It's pleurisy.
Yeah. And
Okay.
the medicine thought I was dying. Then he left. And I survived after.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it was very violent.
Mm.
Mm.
All right.
And
It's almost a non sequitur here to ask for 3 is a charm.
yeah, it's this one will be in I think I don't have the English version, so I will read it in Spanish.
Okay. And again, a description, please.
The title is Intimidad, Intimacy, and it's about the right empowerment after the trauma. So it's coming back to life and myself. It's a strong poem. Not very funny, but powerful.
Mm-hmm.
El derecho de decir que no. El derecho de no decir lo que estoy pensando. El derecho de poner mala cara, sí, sin que sea culpa de alguien. El derecho de no querer. El derecho de no sonreír. El derecho de no irme allá. El derecho de no contestar los mensajes. El derecho de amar. El derecho de no tener ganas de compartirlo con la persona interesada. El derecho de odiar o no. El derecho de estar demasiado cansada para eso. El derecho de tener ganas de otra cosa que ir a través de la cólera. El derecho de separarme de todo para sobre todo no sentirlo. El derecho de volverme loca. El derecho de no poder más. El derecho de saturar. El derecho de no escribir. El derecho de no tener ganas de decir. El derecho de mirar bellas películas de amor por falta de vivirlas de verdad. El derecho de querer y ser querida sin ser amenazada por eso, sin ser acusada por eso, sin ser interrogada por eso, acosada, controlada, sin verme obligada a decir le quiero y oír no te creo y no lo puedes decir. Sí que puedo. Tengo el derecho. Quisiera irme donde está el silencio, donde no se necesitan palabras para decir que nos queremos, porque ya estamos, nadamos por el amor. Y esta puta frase que se repite repetidamente sin descanso, le quiero, como palabras muertas que años después flotarían en el aire, imposible de olvidar. Herida del espacio-tiempo, un fallo. Recuérdalo, no lo olvides. Sucedió. Ha sido posible amar tanto. Vale la pena de agarrarme un poco más. Y no. Era un amor en vano. Solo era un sueño. Tontera. ¿Puede una mentira ser bella cuando se burla tanto? El derecho a mis sentidos sin tener que hacer todo sola. Sin hablar para los muertos, sin actuar para ellos tampoco. Ya tengo bastante actuando para mí, hablando para mí o callando también para mí. El derecho a lo mío que no se dice. El derecho a mi silencio. el derecho de no sentir, el derecho de no saber, el derecho a mi denegación, el derecho de tener ganas de pensar en otra cosa que ese horror, el derecho de hablar de ternura, porque la necesito hasta la muerte. Toda esta tristeza demasiado grande para mí, no consigo consolarme, aún queriendo, intenté, fallé. Dentro, al fondo, la niña se esconde bajo las zarzas. No quiere ir, no quiere sentir, no quiere llorar, no quiere decirlo, quiere que la deje tranquila, quiere que la deje soñar. Hubiera sido genial si hubiera sido feliz. Le quería tanto y estaba bien así. Es todo lo que quería, pero podría ser tan mejor si aceptaba salir de su escondite. Sí, intentó, fracasó otra vez y otra más y otra, y no saldrá, no quiere. Y yo al lado no sé qué hacer, no aprendí. Solo sé que pretender que ni siquiera me duele, fácil que decir. Pretendo ya va a pasar y no pasa. Y amo y callo y lloro y lloro y lloro y no. Ya gasté toda mi esperanza. Queda la fe. Buenas noches.
Okay, gracias. As I see, yeah, okay. El derecho, the right. She kept repeating the right to do this, the right to do that. That was a manifesto.
After. Second round, tenderness.
Okay. That was a manifesto.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, now we're going to fly through time and space to the West Coast, to San Francisco, and bring on David, Dharma Dave Wilson. You're on, David.
Great. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New
Great to
Year.
be here with you all. So this is called Resolution Revolutions. Assignment: write something silly, and you'd better write it in English. Mention dartboards. Roll the universe into a ball. Watch the ball explode. See the light of 10 million stars blinking into existence. Look into a mirror on 7 different occasions. Mention dartboards. Don't mention your means of employment. Examine the inside of a rainbow and the underbelly of a shark. Sing a song of love with blaring electric guitar solos. Write a poem on the meaning of life. Enjoy Russian novels, even in translation. Go to the cinema. Sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Don't go to Hollywood and snort cocaine. Go off and meditate in the desert. Get sentimental about old movies. Watch reruns of your favorite old television shows. Hate television. Hate, and other ugly emotions. Enough of the big boys and their comical version. Examine socio-political systems amidst clouds of smoke. Grow your own. Love, love, love.
After that, love, love, love. All right, we can go there. Take me out to the ball game, David.
You threw it
Here's
all in
number-
there.
Yeah.
Really, you put it all in there. All right, number 2, Mr. Dharma.
Number 2. This is called Bongs, Not Bombs. That's what this world needs. All those assholes in charge sitting down together and toking on big old bongers until they get too mellow for war. maybe not very realistic, but I have never advocated realism. I am content to wait quietly in the background for those scowling idiots to give themselves the knockout punch. But I worry about Partnership for a Freedom-Free America, leading a bright-looking kid into Dr. Ben Sinister's ingenious machine, shrinking his gonads with government-sanctioned cannabis, twisting his brain with lies. It's just not good at all. It would be far better for some honest citizen to offer him some domestically produced American anarchy. Then the young fellow wouldn't wind up a frothing warmonger or mass media hysterical flag waver. He'd be one of us, the true sons and daughters of liberty, with guitars and bongs and active decentralized democratic web stations, organic food and fuels, crafts for life, and earth-saving space imaginations. Give the kid an honest choice and see which way he turns.
All right, bongs. That's it.
Not Bob's.
Bongs,
Bongs.
bongs, not bongs. That sounds like a
Bongs, not
throwback,
bongs.
Dave. When did you write that?
Oh, I wrote that a really long time ago, probably
Yeah,
around 1980 or so, a long time ago.
Yeah, at a time when people thought if you smoked marijuana, you would turn into a cooperative pacifist.
Yes, how little did they know, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But,
I mean, and now the best weed in New York is also smoked on Wall Street in finance offices and so forth.
oh yeah, I think they get the first cut, right? Or my crazy neighbor explained to me it's the judges and the politicians and stuff. They get the best of the best, you know.
All right. Well, what do you got
Here's
next
a
for
charm.
us, David?
Here's a charm. Ice hours. The ice wee hours of January. Talk of war. The face suffers under the weight of abuse. Last desperate months in the big city. Those stars through the cold night, the moon almost full, the rumble of earthquake. A message from God?
Okay. All right, David. Thank you. All right. Well, that leaves me to finish this round. And I would like to read a poem I wrote for my best friend at the time, who now lives in San Francisco. He took a career of working with deaf people as a teacher and as what do you call it, an interpreter when they did public forums. Sponsored many forums for the deaf, and his name is Kevin. And this is seasonal, and it's called Souvenirs. 10 years ago, we took a long walk through Pittsburgh, the east side to downtown and back. We talked about most everything, the vast awaiting galaxy at our cerebral disposal, in music, books, the good drugs. You had settled for the Orient, calmly hedging your bets, and I made my gate to street corners, spinning colloquial poetry and uncome revolutions. Your mother calling you home, mine, looking to rent again. A nothing, everything, post-high school paradox. We were beat. We leaned like partners do into a brisk winter wind. Sun, sunny assurance, alive, young futures in the making, in the walking, synchro stepping, elbows flapping, palms up, rhythm time, rhythm boys on the Dharma bum. We passed by neatly arranged anonymous faced apartment buildings, past dull gray dry goods stores pitched by old country Jews, past dirt brown warehouses, Slovaks slumping in agony on the loading docks, the Abruzzi whiff of tomato sauce salivating the nose and lips, horse players barking obscenities and prayers inside Kelly's joint, a four-rail cue shot kicked off the 8-ball sunk in a left corner pocket, sure as shit at Jimmy's uptown pool and shoe shine. Your father, an honest sucker on the north side, cutting a fair deal in the water in a school of loan sharks. My old man, short on chips, pounding down cheap brews in an east side dive. We rounded a corner on a horseshoe turn, downtown to our backs, tall and upright, mostly indifferent. Nodding in jest to one of your jokes, I noticed the wind had painted blush across your cheeks, glazing rouge your Celtic lips, blowing curls of your auburn locks, the chestnut orbs of your curious eyes. What are you staring at? You asked, your irrepressible shyness breaking into a self-conscious grin. Just a passing fancy, I replied. Some days are simply sublime. This can be passed off as so much boyish infatuation with long winter walks past old buildings and old men. Mothers wait impatiently, fathers making plans that don't quite turn out. Brisk flowing winds paint fresh young faces, U-turns down blind alleys that never end, and such things.
All right.
Oh,
My
thank you.
God.
So, okay. Well, I got to read earlier and got to read Norcel's poems, so that's enough for me for this round. And why don't we take a few minutes and come back for round two, where we can contribute 2 pieces, okay? Okay. It's noted, Lydia.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, hi.
Yeah.
I'm not ready, but let's see. I'm working off my phone, so
Mm-hmm.
can you give me a second?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm not ready yet. Someone else
right.
has to go first. Sorry.
Sorry?
I said someone else would have to go first because I'm not.
Okay. Well, let's see. Martin was second. How do you feel about going, Martin?
Did he sign? I think he signed off already.
No, he's there.
Oh, he's there? Okay.
I'm just muted. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting about that. I've
Yeah.
got another Yeats I'd like to share.
Why not?
And then I've got a short one of my own, old one.
Okay, great.
The Yeats is called The Apparitions. Because there is safety in derision, I talked about an apparition. I took no trouble to convince or seem plausible to a man of sense, distrustful of that popular eye, whether it be bold or sly. 15 apparitions have I seen, the worst a coat upon a coat hanger. I have found nothing half so good as my long-planned half solitude, where I can sit up half the night with some friend that has the wit not to allow his looks to tell when I am unintelligible. 15 apparitions have I seen, the worst a coat upon a coat hanger. When a man grows old, his joy grows more deep day after day. His empty heart is full at length, but he has need of all that strength because of the increasing night that opens her mystery and fright. 15 apparitions have I seen, the worst a coat upon a coat hanger.
Okay.
I have to say that the part I like best is the second verse. That's the one that really speaks to me. The one about where I can sit up half the night with some friend that has the wit not to allow his looks to tell when I am unintelligible.
Yeah. All right. And now you have one of your own?
Yeah, and this one is based on we were in a little restaurant. I don't remember where. I don't even remember the country. And there was a wedding party nearby, and things weren't going so well. And this is called Village Wedding. Because the bride had buck teeth and had begun to show, and the graying groom wore an ill-fitting tuxedo, and the bearded French horn played a wobbly dirge, and the village was small, and few could resist the urge to snicker. And the mother's Olmec scowl said, "Everyone just go to hell. I hope they defy the odds and wish them well."
Okay. Did you say Olmec skull? Does that give you an indication of where?
Scowl.
Scowl.
No, you know how these Olmec statues have these grimacing faces. So
okay.
That's
all right. All right. Okay. Well, now, all right. So next up, thank you, Martin. Yeah. Now, Lydia, are you ready to come in, or are you still looking?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'll just read this one off my phone.
All right. We're listening.
I have one, maybe two. One. I met me, I'll call her Miss Louisiana Bellstrut in Kalamazoo. They say she be Grand Boulay, no swamp rat Black blazer Lafayette blouse, tucked in her jockey pants, buckle boots. Once beaten, jaw broken, spirit never. Left the forever love. This right here, a magnolia, refusing to wilt. Sugarcane lips and spread deep red lipstick, known to frolic with baby gators, once shopped at the Piggly Wiggly occasionally. Loved Balducci's and ate crocodile pops. Sticking to my cat, sorry. Sticking to etouffee, dirty jambalaya, and muffaletta. What the fudder? Caught drinking at the Gut Brew, sipping on the poach. Pitchers are full of sweet tea, soaking up the sun. Sitting, unlike a lady, upon the porch, railing, one leg over the other, swinging, while munching sisters' pralines. Where am I? Okay, sorry about that. Sisters' pralines. Them be laughing, spinning tall tales. She be a practitioner of voodoo. We be healers and speaking to ancestors, offering food. 7 sisters' limbs hanging doll heads. Seen never again. Play tricks on them city kin. They said she have a whole lot of Mississippi mouth, open for Louisiana change. Adoring the lexicon, her pull on darling or misbehaving, sure enough, and twisting into rooted music of them, that their air, pushing to travel one of them day there. And Gullah Gumbo sounds good to my ear to sat listening to the bell all evening in Kalamazoo. You have to excuse me. I was trying to fight off my cat, so I'm sorry. I mean, damn. Like, I'm right in the middle and I'm trying to finger through this phone and he's like, oh, sorry about that.
All right. Do you have another one for us?
Let's see. Okay. I have one now, actually. But I can't find that one on my phone. No. Okay, if I can read it straight through, I'll read it straight. I have a little one, but it's my phone acting up, so don't worry about it. It's called simply Sunstar. Sunstar, there you are, and there you were all of time, waiting a moon pie. My mind, and there for a while. So I just want to smile, and I want to sit and look at you, settling into a vaulted vision of Vietnam and haunting pictures planted on your medulla oblongata. A vow together, witness Serengeti crimson sunset, we said, inhale that natural breath, blowing back to kiss the sweat off my brow. Earth's tiresome hum, and breathe for a while, quietly, I sigh. Specify a color so unusual and simply name it beauty. Strum trunks undefinable sounds and simply call it our song and play it for the gods known and unknown. And remember, we are all free to move around. We are all free to move around from Tanzania to Timbuktu and lay hands on a restless lap, a waiting lap, my lap, and finally taste the fruit. And I will simply call it unusual. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank
Simply
you.
call it unusual. All right.
I won't tell you the name, but I won't tell you that.
Okay.
It's unusual fruit.
Okay. All right. We can go with that. Okay. Thank you, Lydia. I'm glad you found your work, and give our best to your kitty cat.
Thank you.
There have been times when my dog hair, which is similar to a bulldog with a short snout,
I saw your dog.
snored. My bulldog would be snoring during the reading, and I would be covering her nose so you couldn't hear like that, because that's how they snore. So I understand. I understand. Okay, thank you, Lydia. And now, let's see who we got next year. We have Bill Strangmire is back with us. Billy?
Okay. This is called One Room in a Fragment. The walls are not of landlord white, no flowered paper. The color is calm. Is it blue? Is it green? Definitely not aqua. There's an obscure painting going around the walls. It moves by magic or by engineering or by hypnotist's technique. It mirrors thought and gives comfort to anguish, nerve to lethargy. From jungle to forest to two-lane blacktop over a hill to dawn, to castles and tenements, gardens and a space with always a figure, a woman I love or a hero, a warrior, a face or an animal, sometimes a mask. The bed is like a field of winter, white, spring green, and summer warmth. The air is that of a thunderstorm indoors, or winter in a quilt, or summer full of joy. Stars spread across the mirror-painted ceiling that is of an evening blue. I look around for the books I would have put in a pile.
All right, we're with you, Bill.
Okay, this is called Pep Talk. The hope that burns, the wish that floats above you as you walk, as if for Tantalus in his lake and with his tree, is solid in your head. But that cannot be, for we are spirit, not of stone, and flesh is mind. The road to heaven is before us here in purgatory, where we strive. We can rise higher, can triumph over pain and care, can grow that tree. We can drain the thick water lake and find the well, the fountain pure. Your fate is in your hands. Give it to a god, an angel, or a universe, and drop the burden from your shoulders like a winter coat in spring. It is that simple, but as hard to do as you would have it be, if sorrowful. Your sorrow must be cured, your anger set aside, your life be loved. You must take your joy from out your pocket, lift it up to shine a light. You live not for yourself alone, you live for everyone you meet. You live for even the lowest of those cast down by the sickness of evil. Even these are of this world, this field of battle for the souls of all. A time for every act committed, but there is one law: do no harm to the common good. The need for evolution or the trodden down. All history calls on each of us to rise into a state deserving of this world.
Ooh, okay. All right. Thank you, Bill. Okay. And now we will go to Narcelle. Hello, Narcelle.
Hello. Yes.
Okay. This poem that you wrote is called The Wizard. Okay, The Wizard. Don't sleep in deep sleep. Shame on your eyelids. I stripped your blessed betrayal one by one with the lotus flower. I'm bleeding with my unstopping tears internally. My voice is breaking meticulously. The cut in my artery, time bleeds. I myself became a melancholy love in your mornings. Wake up. Lovers can also be shot in the middle of their eyebrows. You, the wizard, reaping lifetime to my love. Are you God? You throw me into the fire of hell alive. My voice rings on ebb and tide, fun and games on my knees. Hey, lofts make for lovers. However, I dig a well by my needle. Nobody can know I wake up to purple mornings. Love is a sad river. You can't swim if you're not a lover. I was exiled from the heaven with my apple tree. Ooh,
Thank you.
okay.
Bunu okudum. I read.
Ready for you, the wizard?
Okudum. I read.
Yes.
Whistle red. Whistle red. I read the wizard. I am read the wizard.
Yes.
2, 3. Birinci round 3.
Okay. I'm not
Whistle
sure.
red. Whistle red.
No.
Whistle
With
red.
okay. Yes.
Whistle red. Gelincik kırmızısı. Dağlarım duman duman. Göz pınarlarına. Kaybolur sevdam. Akıtır gözyaşlarını. Tarihi olmayan gecelerde. Ilık ılık. gelincik kırmızısı akar. Yüreğinden avuçlarına. Dualar gökyüzüne asılı. Alabora sevgilerde. Elinde gül dikenlerinden bir demet. Ilık ılık gelincik kırmızısı akar. Yüreğinden avuçlarına. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And now the second poem from you. Okay, second poem. My pronunciation will be terrible, but it reads, the title reads like Yakam, let's see, Yakam Moslar. Yakam Moslar? Okay. All right, here we go. Yakam Moslar by Narcelle. Moon's reflection holds my sorrow in oceans deep, crooked kite tails across the sky. Please don't look at me in such deep sorrow, piercing my heart in desperate nights. Don't grieve, my love, don't grieve. The autumn will also pass, dewdrops dripping from the lilac, buds opened by the sun. Okay.
Thank you.
Wow.
Wow. Thank you.
Okay.
Yakamozlar. Yakamozlar yasımı tutar. Derin okyanuslarda. Uçurtmaların boynu bükük gökyüzünde. Öyle derin katmerli hüzünle bakma yüzüme. Delip geçme yüreğimi umarsız gecelerde. Yas tutma gönül, yas tutma. Bu hazan da geçer. Leylaklardan süzülür çiğ damlası. Tomurcuk güneşler açar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to say, as you all know, Narcelle has written many, many poems about unrequited love, betrayal of love, her loneliness sometimes in love, and yet she always concludes not in self-pity and not in a morose sentiment, but in what resilience. And she says, please don't pity me. That kind of sentiment resounds through her poems. It's very inspirational. Thank you, Narcelle.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Now, after Narcelle, Carolina.
Caroline, you're still muted.
Thank you. Well, it's about classroom and what's happening in the head. Oh, I know which one I will read in a second. Well, welcome to my university. It's about classroom and phantasm and desire while you are studying or trying to pretend to.
One could say metaphorically, your university is running on chaos theory.
Well, indeed.
Joke.
So it's do you say muse in English also?
Yeah, muse. Yes.
Yeah. So it's classroom muse. Je m'en fous si ce qu'il dit n'est pas parfait. Ça change. J'aime son velouté, sa musique, Il n'a pas besoin de pédale d'effet pour poser sa voix. Je m'en fous s'il a une tignasse qui ressemble à un truc pour enlever les toiles d'araignée. Ça me donne envie d'y plonger mes rêveries. Ça m'inspire. Je m'en fous s'il a l'air d'être tombé là par hasard à la bourre à côté de ses pompes. Quand il est là, le lieu a une âme. Je m'y sens à ma place. Je m'y sens bien. J'aime le sentir proche, entendre sa respiration, ses petits bruits, chaussures qui couinent, genoux qui sautillent, tous ces petits gestes familiers, micro-balais, la main qui ébouriffe, les doigts qui tapotent dans l'air ou sur le bord de la table, à sa manière d'écrire, petite respiration dans la densité des cours, la pincée de sel qui change tout. C'est pas pour ce qu'on se parle, presque pas en fait. Pourtant je suis bavarde, hein. Mais j'aime son silence. J'aime la vibration de sa bulle. Elle s'accorde bien à la mienne. Quand il est là, je m'évade mieux, comme si savoir qu'il sera là à mon retour à la réalité m'aidait à partir plus profond.
Ok. Ok. Merci. And numéro
It can
2.
also be about friendship, I say. And so the second one will be another one about classroom, but another classroom, another man. And the second one will be a very, very sexy man.
Uh-oh.
It's hot. I know. Not this one. It's about the décolleté, but for a man. La prof s'agite. Elle parle là, devant. Mais j'ai la tête ailleurs. Il est entré nonchalamment, s'est assis de l'autre côté de l'allée. Il fait chaud. Les stores, comme toujours, sont baissés, la lumière est éteinte. À la lueur de l'écran, j'aperçois la blancheur de son cou. Sa chemise s'ouvre en décolleté plongeant. Elle laisse deviner les courbes pectorales, la clavicule, son creux. Il a attaché ses cheveux. Il fait trop chaud. Vraiment trop chaud. Pas moyen de rester concentré. C'est pas possible d'être aussi... Tellement... Non, vraiment. C'est étrange de pouvoir d'attraction qu'exercent certaines parties du corps. Ce pouvoir des vêtements de couvrir sans tout couvrir, de suggérer la nudité. Une infime partie pour un tout, parfois plus allusive que la nudité même, franche, naturelle. La chemise ne l'habille pas, elle le déshabille. Mon regard dérape, de l'écran à son cou, de la feuille à son cou, de son cou à le coin là-bas. Je me concentre. C'est un pote de cours, c'est pas une bonne idée, je me pince. Aouh. Le printemps ne fait que commencer, va falloir m'habituer. Je souffle doucement et secoue.
Doucement. Okay. Merci, Caroline. Thank you. Okay. All right. And our next poet, wow, we're going to go back to San Francisco. Dharma Dave Wilson. You're on, Dharma Dave.
Okay, great. So I'm going to do another of my military industrial complex poems. So when I turned 18 was right at the same time that the United States government reinstated the selective service registration requirement, and which had been discontinued along with the draft some years before. And even though it was always highly unlikely that anybody would draft me into their army, it was an occasion for angst when that happened. And I wrote this poem. This is called On the Military, an Untrammeled Hand. to register or not to register? That is the question before me and all other young American men during these dangerous days. You can see the desperation on the sidewalks. Eyes are full of fear. Brows are heavy with doubt. Are these long, sunny afternoons in Berkeley fading into the past amidst the grim-faced reminders of a future so plainly real?
So plainly real. I take it you didn't get inducted.
Well, no, I mean, we haven't had a draft, but they just made us sign up for it in case they ever decided they needed to do one, And no,
And I would add, you didn't volunteer. You didn't.
I never believed in the mission, Bo.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was like, I mean, obviously then we were worried about some war or other. And I think Grenada happened right about then, which was,
okay.
which Hunter Thompson went down there to report on it and said he was not impressed by the military. He said a gang of journalists armed with baseball bats could have taken over this island.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. Yeah, but it was another.
Really stupid.
It was a regime change led by a leader who wanted to nationalize and improve the quality of life of Grenada.
So it had to, business interests were upset and had to.
Yeah, and the U.S. wanted to directly intervene. No more of this. We have a boycott of Cuba. We changed regimes in Argentina, and we arrested the leader of Panama when he was no longer useful to us. And you're not going to pull this off either. So that'll be enough of that, Latin America. So
see, I felt that way at the time, and that's why I would not have been good in the Army.
Yeah. Okay.
So number 2.
Yes.
So so tomorrow is the birthday, tomorrow, January 3rd, the birthday of J.R.R. Tolkien, who had a big influence on all of us, I'm pretty sure, most of us. And so this is a piece about the time I met him in Switzerland in a dream. A wonderment with Tolkien. It was in a mountainous town that I found myself, probably in Europe, probably in the Alps. And it was a lovely summer afternoon, warmer than usual for that high in the mountains, even in the fullness of summer. Though I could not say what town it was, I had a feeling I had been there before, either in dream or in waking life. It was so familiar there, standing in a wide drive before an ancient stone building, a warehouse, or perhaps a garage. I became aware of a man beside me, well-dressed and distinguished looking, in an old-fashioned and tweedy way. Immediately, I recognized that he was none other than J.R.R. Tolkien. He nodded politely and said hello, and began talking about his great work and his worries that he had not been clear enough in his execution, so that the roots of the story were not clear. We stood out in the wide court, looking up the high road where the alpine slopes rose away, narrowing and opening in imagination, like a high pass in both the idealized and realized misty mountains. Tolkien said his vision was bright and clear, and he feared his words had not conveyed it. We turned and walked in out of the sunlight through the big open gate of the stone building, into which was a garage where mechanics were servicing vintage automobiles. To Tolkien, I said that I thought his backstory did get more than a bit complicated, especially the appendices, and that as a reader, I had never gotten all the way to the bottom of it. His expression looked at first a bit dismayed, then startled, but not unpleased, when I clapped him about the shoulder with a hearty laugh and said he should be proud to have written such a great classic for all time, and that it was a gift, an achievement, not only for him as author, but for all his readers who were inspired and transformed by his story. And that is where the vision ended.
Okay. All right, Dream Man. Okay. Did you read the 4 books?
Yeah, I haven't read everything, all of his notes that have been published posthumously, but I did read the originals, I read those books a few times.
Okay, good enough. Okay, it looks like, let's see, I'm the last one to go in this round, and I'm going to bring back an oldie but goodie because I had mentioned earlier that I went to a New Year's Eve party, Friday night, 31st, and it was very crowded and very jovial. And there was one guy that kept bothering me, kept trying to serve me champagne. And I mentioned to him that I had quit drinking long ago. And somehow, as happens, he said, yes, but tonight's the exception and you have to. And I said, no, I don't. And so it was starting to get annoying after a while because he kept coming back. So I wish I could have read him this in response. It's called Had I Been Drunk. Had I been drunk, I would have known why this happened, then denial, the shroud of folly repeated. Able to pay due attention the morning after, always sometimes too soon, sometimes the end of a day, I started one day earlier, solely to cycle for a time longer. I am yet not able to know and admit. Had I been hammered, I would have pulled out one of my threadbare apologies for what could have occurred. The possibilities are endless to the dead end. Had I been ripped and funkin' for Havana in a smoked cloud bistro up in Pigalle, steaming for a wet brunette in heat, a cappella mad cadenza, the crazed baritone of oriental eyes after midnight, my tongue one with the cafe floor. Then I'm not as so foreign, this journey to somewhere I seem to remember before I got lost. To find myself grateful to be and bear witness again in creation, a creature incanting, every dog shall have its day. And I got to tell you, today on the train, I read your new stanzas, felt that I loved you. I wrote love like a man on a train. Had I been blessed at the smithereens of rivaling conflicts, my mind in a noose strung of insanities, a headache hermetic pounding for clemency, release from a solitude of bondage and agony. Had I been smashed into opaque corners of an asshole of entropy reeking of raw oblivion. Oh, but I'm not. I am peering through gray mesh brain maze, willing to abdicate ego malignant. Oh, simplicity, this could be bliss. Should this indicate I'm feeling something more than some things I can no longer hold on to, and rising on breaths of fresh air and love, real and just for the sake of, where I'd have fall drop dead drunk, failing to share with you my naked moment, floating free. Oh, this is confusing. This is stunning. This is sweet music and laughter spilling, and here flows the light.
All right. I like that.
You're the prodigal son. All right. Well, that's I think that's all I'm going to read for this my part of this session, and it's been a good night. And wow, congratulate Narcelle on her birthday, and everybody else. My birthday was December 20th, and a lot of birthdays have popped up. And those of us, no, but here's the gist. Those of us born, there's such a big holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, you name it. Oh, it was your birthday. Oh, so I don't know about others, but I think birthdays were almost
I have three women in my life born on Christmas
solitary
Day.
thing. Hmm?
I said I have three women in my life who are all born on Christmas Day.
Wow.
Wow. And I said congratulations the other day to someone born on New Year's Day. So
my first wife, my second daughter, and my oldest granddaughter, all three were born on Christmas Day.
whoa.
Wow.
I know people that were born on April 1st.
That's good for a laugh.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and in Caroline, you might agree with this. When I came to Paris, I was told that traditionally French people do not make a big deal at all out of their own birthdays.
I don't know, because I almost never celebrate it. I never celebrate mine, so
Right.
I don't know. I think for me, that am I really totally? I'm not 100% French, like my culture. In my family, Christmas was a very, very, very important moment in the year, and also I think Reyes Magos, the 5th of January. Also in Spain, we used to celebrate this date with the gifts. It's not for Christmas, but for the Reyes Magos, the
Magi.
king.
The Magi.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
Well, I
are
was just
bringing.
mentioning. Okay, I was just mentioning that very different from the U.S. is what I was told when I got here, that French people traditionally do not think it's a big deal to celebrate their birthdays. That simply was a big difference with the Americans. Nowadays, people are celebrating birthdays for like a week at a time. I think it's just
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah, I used to celebrate just to say, yeah, it's my birthday. It was my birthday yesterday, but you can if someone say me happy birthday the day after and the day after and the day after and the day after, for me it's like having an entire week of celebrating, but it's not really a big celebration.
right. That's all I was mentioning.
Well, it's important when you're a kid. I mean, kids, because
That's
especially to the
I
parents.
like the
right. Well,
you
to
know
the kids.
the Alice way of saying un joyeux anniversaire.
Very merry on birthday, birthday to you.
That's very funny because you can celebrate it every day of
Any
the
day.
world except your birthday.
Except your birthday.
Every day is a birthday.
The older you
Except
get,
yourself.
the more it becomes a memento mori.
And
And
then
the
as I get
faster they
used to
roll by those birthdays.
right now, women in the house. Okay, ladies, do you have a year of birthday where you did a birthday year come around when you decided that'll be enough talk about my age for my birthday?
For me, every day is a birthday, so Not really.
Okay. Okay. Didn't strike a chord with anybody, huh? With any of the women
Not
on the
with
screen?
this group.
When my students ask my age, I always add on 10 years.
The old man of the tribe over there.
Okay.
My grandma used to, you know, she when she was 64, she said she was 46. She always changed
Reverse the
her
order.
age. It was a joke.
And what
And
did she do when she was
when
66?
she passed 68 or no, I don't remember at what age she died, but it was a very, very good joke after to say her, oh, and now you are at no, no, no. Say the contrary.
Mhm. Okay. Well, all right. Well, all right then, gang. It's been nice. It's been a
Thank
pleasure
you.
hanging out with all of you again.
Yes,
And
a big
Thank
pleasure.
you, Mo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
appreciate.
Here's to a
And,
great year
Yeah, here
of poetry, if
signaling-
nothing else.
you know, lots of people are saying Happy New Year, and that's very nice. And my response to them has been a better New Year. Instead
Yes,
of saying
indeed.
Happy New Year,
For
which
all
I
of us.
think, yeah, I've just been greeting people with Better New Year.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
So here's hoping. And the poets will keep us abreast of what's going on. Yeah.
Real news.
So, okay. So I want to thank everybody, time.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
all.
Everybody.
Okay.
Mo.
Caroline and Martin and Nursel and David and Bill and Lydia. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you for
Thank
hosting us, Mo.
Thank you.
My
And
Mo.
thank you,
My
Dave,
pleasure.
Caroline.
Okay.
Caffé.
Okay. Be well. Don't get sick.
You too.
Enjoy better year for all of us, really.
Yes.
Okay, bye for now, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.